Today is Jackie Robinson Day, and we here at Wrestling with Racism honor him. This program is in dedication to Jackie Robinson. As white folk go out of their way to show fake love, we dedicate this program to Jackie Robinson. May he rest in peace.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. I'm extremely proud and pleased to be here this afternoon, but must admit I'm going to be tremendously more pleased and more proud when I look at that third base coaching line one day and see a black face managing in baseball. Thank you very much.
He is available right now. I want to take this time to address some of the listeners to Wrestling with Racism. I want y'all to understand something. We are simply here to wake American Negroes up to the number one problem, not just in professional wrestling, not in America, not just, but around the world, and that is a system of white supremacy via anti-blackness. I'm not out here to cater to nobody's feelings. I'm not out here to cater to nobody's sensitive ears. We are going to tell the truth as it is. And if you don't like it, you can get the fuck on. If you don't like our reactions to certain things, you can get the fuck on. Take your viewership and take your subscription, because you are not welcome at Wrestling with Racism. When you choose to toughen up, come back and holler at us. Because right now, there's no counselors in the budget. So we don't have no one to pat you on your back when things get a little rough for you. This program is not for you. Please leave. This program is not for sensitive ears. This program is not for white folk, and it's not for handkerchief head pecker Tom Negroes who can't take a joke. If you can't see the information that we pump out minute to minute on this program, and you looking for a popularity show or some shit, you're not gonna catch it here. Get the fuck on. Anyway, sorry about that. How y'all doing? Y'all
doing good.
Kind of hot lately. Devon Dudley, while speaking on Good Karma Wrestling in a podcast, said, I remember, this quote now, I remember when I first broke into the business in 91. You have to understand that racism was still alive and well, just like I feel it's still alive and well today. I like to say what Malcolm X used to say, quote, a lot of Klansmen turned in their white sheet for a suit, end quote. Walking around and doing what they're doing, it's still relevant in the wrestling business. It is, but we have come a long way since then. Devon described how racism is also still very prominent in today's business, citing that a WWE officer, a member of the office, told him that he didn't like him because he was black. Devon cited that it happened on 2 occasions. He did have witnesses there. Bubba Ray was there in both cases, and in one case, Paul Heyman, Tommy Dreamer, and Spike Dudley were there with him when that comment was made. He says, to this day, I have no respect, nor do I like this individual who is no longer with WWE.
Does that make you right?
I can imagine 2 names that come to mind almost immediately that I would imagine he is speaking about. Teddy, how bad? You know, I can't answer this question. Bill can't answer this question, but you can. In today's business, is racism still as prominent as it was when you entered?
There's a little bit of a change. You know what I mean? We, like Devon said, we've really, come a long way. And I can testify to that because look at me, I lasted 10 years in my spot. And to be a black man, that was really remarkable. But I remember one individual walked up to me, and said he didn't say that I was black, but he wasn't. This was somebody in the office too. And he looked at me and he said, wow, can't believe it. Teddy Long, you've been the longest general manager ever around here. So what that individual was telling me then is, your time is up. Okay, but they didn't know I understood that, you know, because I always kept, you know, I stay quiet, just act like, you know, okay, whatever. And so
But
I knew then.
I don't mean to cut you off, Teddy, but that drives me crazy because I've heard you answer this question on a couple of occasions. And what drives me crazy is that you had to stay quiet to keep your job, which means you probably lost out on bonuses, increases in your pay because you're afraid to say anything because you want to keep your job. That's wrong. That's just simply wrong.
And they knew they had me locked with that. John Laurinaitis knew that.
That you had to stay quiet to keep your job, which means you probably lost out on bonuses, increases in your pay because you're afraid to say anything because you want to keep your job. That's wrong. That's just simply wrong.
And they knew they had me locked with that. And they knew they had me locked with that. And they knew they had me locked with that. They knew they had me locked with that. John Laurinaitis knew that. I'm not afraid to call his name. This man made my life miserable. And so he knew exactly, you know, I couldn't ask for no money because then that's what he'd have got me then. Yeah. He never gave me raises, you know, I never got any money. And like I said, that was a referee that was making more money than me. And I'm the general manager, running the head of the show. So yeah, him and Mark Arana did a lot of nasty things to me.
What was the other name? I'm sorry, real quick, Teddy. What was the second name? I didn't hear you.
I said him and Mark Arana did a lot of nasty things.
Okay.
And do you think that might have been racially based, Teddy?
Huh?
Do you think that might have been racially based?
What else could it be, Bill?
I will say this, that a lot of what has happened
I'll tell you what. Hey, let me say this, and I want to say this for Bill, and to show you what I mean. When you did the interview with Tony Atlas, and he told you about Vince was going to send a private plane at me. Let me correct that a little bit. Vince was going to not get a private plane. Vince was going to send his plane to pick me up, but John Laurinaitis, where the plane was given, made me drive it. That's the true story of it. Okay, so. Is that no racism for you?
For me, I'm sad to see that a lot of the things went down like that. But once several individuals were gone and the two names you mentioned are no longer there, it seemed like you were welcomed back into the family again. So, I mean, look, maybe it's a coincidence. I just don't think so. I think there's a reason why it took so long for you to get get your Legends deal and everything else.
Mark Arana walked up to me one time and I asked him about my Legends deal. He looks at me and he says, "You don't have one?" And he's the guy that give them out. But he thought I was just that dumb. You know what I mean? But like I said, I just sit back and I just give all that to the good Lord because it's called karma. It'll come right back around. And so...
And that's the same thing that actually Devon said. We had an interview with Devon, which you can catch on Road Trip After Hours just maybe a month and a half ago when he was on. And he talked about that very thing, Teddy. He said, the good Lord will get him, karma's coming around. And I believe in that. And I think a lot of people do, that eventually those who do harm to people will have harm come to them.
One of the things that really surprises me, though, and I believe Devon's story totally, is that Bubba Ray, who's one of the toughest shooters when he wants to be in the business, didn't pop whoever said that to him.
But that goes back to what Teddy was saying a while ago, I think. Maybe Bubba didn't pop off and say something because he didn't want to risk Devon's job, because he knew the same thing Devon knew.
Yeah, well, not so much as that. He didn't want to risk his job either.
Yeah, well, that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, they may, if something like that might have happened, they may have fired Devon and Bubba. They may have given him another chance. Maybe not have fired him right off, but they would have let him know, don't you ever, ever do that again.
Didn't Nikki Bella get in trouble for putting hands on her boyfriend, and she got allowed to come back?
She's the victim.
And Odyssey Jones, okay.
Oh shit, wait. Jade did look good in this match. Now I was watching her. Now this was.
Yeah, she looked good.
Jade is getting a lot better. It's just Dewdrop's as big as hell. She looked like the ghost off Ghostbusters. She looked like the Michelin Man. She looked like a pile of ice cream. She looked like a white woman on My 500-Pound Life.
I thought the show was called My 600 Pound Life.
It is, yeah. It's called My 600-Pound Life. Yeah. She do look off about 100 pounds. Oh damn! They just showed her ass. My bad. My 600-Pound Life.
Speaking of EO and
that's a big bitch.
Doudrop. EO and Doudrop fuck up the most of any other woman on the roster.
Lord have mercy. Well, I mean, she big. You know, my main thing is this. Why would somebody want to get in there that was just so...
I heard about her. Big, fat, nasty, greasy, fat, stank, bloated, cheesy, backed, 12 sandwich eating bastard.
I mean, yeah, that's a big bitch. Oh,
she big, but she has some mobility for her size, like above like what you would think a person that big should have. But it's rare to find that. But she losing that shit gradually.
Well, because we seen everything that she could do. You know what I'm saying? Well, we're gonna get ready to talk about Naomi in a minute, because Naomi coming up. You know, where's the Negroes in NXT? Who all do they got remaining down there?
Jasper Troy, Keanu Carver, Eli Knight, and then until they bring up Kelly Armstrong, I can't think of nobody off top.
That's ridiculous. That just don't look good. We about to run into the same problems, but at the same time, we still got the same problems, because it just don't seem like Lash Legend is enough. No, I'm not satisfied. It don't seem like Trick Williams is enough. No, I'm not satisfied. It don't seem like Carmelo Hayes is enough. You know, with him being on reserve like that, no, I'm not satisfied. You know, with Olufemi, they don't know what the hell to do with him, so no, I'm not satisfied. You go over to Raw, and you got, you know, Javon Evans, you know, they floundering with him. No, I'm not satisfied. They not doing shit with the New Day. No, I'm not satisfied. Like I said, the further you look, the less you see. And so, you know, people was waiting. People was literally waiting for the day that all of these people came up from NXT so they could come back to me and rub it in my face that these people are on a roster. And then I look at it, and they still not there. What happens if Javon Evans get injured? Are they going to utilize the New Day even more? What happens if Trick Williams get injured? We literally back in the same position. What happens if Lash Legend get injured? We still have no American Negro winning on SmackDown. Besides B-Fab, and you see that they not doing nothing with her. With that being noted, white folk and handkerchief head pecker Tom Levers. Matter of fact, fuck white folk. Handkerchief head pecker Tom Levers. Get off of your knees. We have a hell of a long way to go if we are to overcome this thing. I want to go back real quick before we finish up with NXT. They had a promo. Stick around, because immediately following this edition, we are going to have some hilarious bonus content ready and available. I want to let everyone know that this is part one of a two-part series covering AEW Dynasty, and part two will be released on Saturday before WWE Wrestlemania. Enjoy the program.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know, talking is cheap. But we can't all condemn the white man. There's something we got to do. The white man is doomed, but we got to help him on his way. And I don't mean in the jest of hate. I mean according to the plan of divine providence. He that has been up a long time must come down. He that's been down a long time must rise.
If you are an American Negro and an American Negro only, subscribe to Wrestling with Racism on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Fanbase, Spotify, Rumble, and Nine Crackers That Out on Twitter X. You can find more white truths.
She is sure enough pretty, and her skirt is short. Lord knows her legs are steady. And to walk to school, she's got to get up early with clothes on, but they are never ever dirty. They're living just enough for the city. My brother is smart. He's got more sense than me there. His patience is long, but soon he won't have any. Cause to find a job is like a haystack needle. Was where he lives, they don't use colored people. They're living just enough for the city.
And now, our feature presentation.
But we can't all condemn the white man. There's something we got to do. The white man is doomed, but we got to help him on his way.
Welcome to Wrestling with Racism, where we wrestle with racism every single day of our lives. If you are an American Negro and you are not subscribed to Wrestling with Racism, check out the other content. And if it hits you to the core, subscribe and share with every single American Negro that you know, whether they are wrestling fans or not. You may also find Wrestling with Racism on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Fanbase, Spotify, Rumble, Patreon, and at Non-Crackers at Al on Twitter X, where you can find more white truths. I'm joined here by my co-host, Deportation 2026. What's up?
Having dinner and watching Dynasty.
All right, how's it going so far?
It's all right. You got Jericho wrestling Ricochet.
Oh boy, it sounds like a Sunday night that I had around 2015. Just relaxing. But we're also joined by owner of a stolen gun. What's up?
Kick back, relaxing, hoping we have an entertaining program tonight. AEW usually has good matches, so.
Well, we're going to get into that right now. I mean, in a minute, I already know where you're going, but I don't know if anybody else realized it, but we're going to wake some people up today. You know, they could sit here and watch the whole edition, and as I'm speaking right now on this Tuesday, they probably didn't even realize it. But we're going to see in just a second. I'm there with you, though, and it's a sad event. How you doing there, though, owner?
I'm a band 50 grand.
We're going to welcome to the program, Foundational Bearded American. What's up?
Hi.
How you doing there, brother?
I'm all right, bro.
How's your weekend going?
It was short.
I bet it was. It'd be like that at your age. You finished with Doris?
Finished with who?
Doris.
Oh, you asking the wrong person. You need to ask him.
I thought this was your weekend. Who got Doris?
Somebody got her and she ain't here.
Mike, you got Doris? Who? Oh, my God. All right, man. Owner, make sure she back by 7, all right? Tomorrow morning. We got work to do in the morning. First of all, I want to thank each and every single American Negro for tuning in to the latest editions of Wrestling with Racism, as we have been pumping them out. We are on the road to Wrestlemania.
But in the midst of the road to WrestleMania, we are on the road to Paul Triple H Levesque getting fired. It is time for him to go. And the key is, not only do every single American Negro know it, but it appears that white folk know it. White folk are clamoring for it. As a matter of fact, white folk could feel it. The key is, are they coming from it from a sympathetic heart? We will discuss that in shortly. I have to make a quick announcement right quick for those that's not aware. There's been a change here at Wrestling with Racism, so I'm going to read a prepared statement, if you'll just give me a second. It is with deep regret that we announce that Mr. Skims will no longer host Wrestling with Racism. We would like to thank him for his time and great efforts, as it is truly valued. He's like the bright young man and the future of the world, as the whites are disappearing quicker than projected. And he is. He's the truth. You know, we really do appreciate Mr. Skims here at Wrestling with Racism. Unfortunately, this can be a very complicated program as we move at a very rapid pace, providing pivotal information minute to minute, each edition ranging from 1 to 4 hours, as you were about to see, each. But I promise you, that is not an easy task on a week to bi-weekly basis, but we have done it for 3 long seasons, and it has been determined from both parties that this program is just not for him. Want to say right here first and foremost that this was a mutual decision. There is no beef for anyone that think it is. It was a trial period, and like I said, you know, certain things just don't work out. But we do appreciate Mr. Skims, and we encourage Mr. Skims. However, he choose to go. Make sure y'all show him some love and well wishes in the comments below on his way out the door. Whatever he chooses to do in the future, we hope that he will continue to wrestle with racism. On the other end, when one door closes, there's always an open opportunity. More details coming soon as we continue to wrestle with racism. However, we are here right now, and I'm just going to let everyone know that next week is going to be the final set of Wrestling with Racism before we go on our mid-season hiatus, our much-needed mid-season hiatus. We are going to premiere 4 to 5 brand new editions covering WWE Wrestlemania. It's going to probably run once a day or every other day, and that is our treat to each and every single American Negro, as there's going to be some unfortunate white truths that is going to be exploited at WrestleMania. WrestleMania is here. WrestleMania is shaping up to be the single most blatant racist WrestleMania in the history of WrestleMania. And of course, all WrestleManias are racist. Is there anyone right here, right now, that could list each and every single melanated person that's wrestling at WrestleMania just real quick?
We can count 10 melanated people who wrestled at WrestleMania's period across all 42.
That's something to think about, and we're going to hold on to that for a few minutes. I just need somebody to run down each and every single melanated person and who they are wrestling.
Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar.
Of course, Trick Williams is slated to wrestle Sami Zayn for a title.
Chad, you want to get in on this?
Yes, and also Javon Evans will be participating in the ladder match for the IC title.
Let's not forget about Jade Cargill, her women's title match.
Oh boy,
Rhea Ripley.
Might as well say the best for last, right? Lash Legend is the only American Negro woman, and only melanated woman, in a match featuring 7 other women. So, the reason why I wanted all of that listed, and it is important, and people can sit up here and ask, how can you say that this is the most blatant racist WrestleMania in the history of WrestleMania? And of course, all WrestleManias were racist. This is capping off last year. Y'all know why I say that? When we listed all of these matches, there's not a single one to where any of them are projected to win. Mike, you listed Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, so let's talk about that first. They are opening up the show for night 2, right?
Yes, they are.
On ESPN for free. Not only are they on the ESPN app for free, but they're actually going to be on ESPN. So they're actually going to be shown to a much larger audience than WrestleMania itself, because everyone is not purchasing WrestleMania, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct. That is correct.
Yeah. So this is huge for Obafemi. Do you believe that the WWE, which obviously is in so much creative trouble right now, do you believe that they are just going to switch it up on us and have Obafemi beat Brock Lesnar?
I will be shocked if Obafemi beat Brock Lesnar.
Now, over the last couple of weeks, I've been asking people on the program what could technically shock you here today. You know, we adults, we've been watching this shit for a couple of decades apiece. You know, what could actually shock you here today? But you feel like you would actually be shocked if that happened, right?
Yep, I'll be shocked if Obafemi actually beat Lesnar.
Would that give you the same effect as, let's say, Andre the Giant slamming? Oh, no, that didn't shock you. Would that be as effective as Brock Lesnar pinning The Undertaker when he did?
Just about. I'll be shocked even more.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be more shocking.
It's that deep, huh? It's that deep. Brock, just don't let it go. And the thing is, though, you know, we got to say this. Brock beat all the Negroes, but I have to say, Brock beat all the white folk, too. I think that's why it carries so much weight, because Brock beat the best of the best. I mean, in John Cena retirement year, Brock Lesnar beat the dog out of John Cena. I don't believe John Cena got a lick of offense, and John Cena didn't get no get back or nothing. They just let it go. So we looking at it beyond the racial aspect of Brock Lesnar just don't put nobody over. Like, he just don't. You know.
He doesn't do, period.
So it would quite be shocking. Honor, what you think? Do you believe that with the WWE being in so much trouble, let's say that they throw them an extra, $500, go ahead on and do this for us. Just because the Brock got them by the balls like that. You think they going to pay that ticket for Obafemi?
I mean, the interesting thing is, everybody thought that this was going to be Brock versus Gunther. Nobody,
wake it up.
Nobody 2 months ago was expecting Obafemi to challenge Brock. Everybody had Gunther pegged for this spot.
So we're going to get into the whites too, because I want to talk about the WrestleMania overall. So I won't, when we get into Raw, when we get finished with the Negro report, we could just go and talk about all the other different stuff that's going on. I want to talk about WrestleMania in particular because there's a lot of buzz behind WrestleMania, whether wrestling fans know it or not.
It is a lot of buzz generating behind this WrestleMania. They giving it the energy that they need, but these ticket sales is still different, you know. So all the buzz is coming from online, but at the end of the day, the asses is not getting in the seats. But we're gonna talk about the asses in the seats in a minute. They stink. White folks stink. They leave an odor anywhere that they go, lingering for a while. You gotta use a lot of shit to get that out. Baking soda is a good vice. When being around white folk, trust me.
What's sulfuric acid?
Yeah, oh boy. Look. So the key is this though. Gunther is not, I always felt that Gunther was supposed to face Brock Lesnar. And I feel like the reason why they pivoted to Obafemi is because they did not want Brock Lesnar to beat Gunther. Now here's the key. Is that due to Brock is willing to lose to Obafemi more than he's willing to lose to Gunther?
It doesn't make a damn lick of sense. Of course.
What do you mean? Why not?
I mean, because of course Brock Lesnar is going to win tonight. If he doesn't want to lose to Gunther, who they have who they've done all this work around. You know, they just gave him the John Cena when he retired John Cena.
He retired AJ Styles.
If he doesn't want to lose to Gunther, how is he going to be okay with losing to Obafemi, who is essentially a nobody?
Well, maybe he credit Obafemi. Maybe he value Obafemi more. Maybe he see more in Obafemi. You got to look at it. Most wrestling fans see a lot in Obafemi. We encourage Obafemi 100% here at Wrestling with Racism, and a lot of other people do, including white folk. Not too many people could see Gunther being around for the next 2 years, and we here at Wrestling with Racism don't want to see him through the next 2 days. So let's look at this from a logical sense. Obafemi has potential to be something in this business, and the business is passing Gunther by.
Yeah.
Chad?
That is true.
Well, Gunther's not a draw. If you want to ask why he's not facing Brock, it's because he's not a draw. He's beneath Brock. And I don't even like Brock like that. But I'm smart enough to know that.
Okay, so you're saying
Gunther's a worker.
That Brock was okay with losing at WrestleMania. He just didn't want to lose to Gunther.
Brock don't care if he...
I said, if Brock have a choice to put someone over, it could potentially be Obafemi. If he care about the business, then he see a greater upside in Obafemi than he does in Gunther. So he would rather put, if he truly care about the business, he choose to put someone over this year. If he chose to put Obafemi, I think it was a choice by Brock Lesnar to put him over Gunther. No one sees an upside in Gunther but Triple H.
Yep.
Can you agree to that, Owner?
Oh, that's a double truth.
That's what I said from the beginning.
I'm thinking if Lesnar loses, it's probably because he probably got some extra money. Probably threw in extra money. He's like, "Hey, man, we'll give you some more money."
Before I said
throw a bonus in there.
You don't think it's not coming for free now?
Yeah, Lesnar charged extra.
But that's the key. And they sat him down at the table and said, Look at the roster. Because, I like to laugh at the roster. Nah, Chad, me and you get a big chuckle out the roster. Owner, I know you get a chuckle out these motherfuckers. I just don't want to laugh at y'all on the program when you're enlisting them, okay? That is a bad thing to do. But
these people are not my fucking friends. Why was that a bad thing to do? But go ahead.
I don't know. The king of Zamunda. No, because when I'm coming to America, they seem like some good people. When the king came out and old girl came out, they seem like some good people. Man, there was so many people there. I never seen so many people at one function and it was orderly. That was an orderly ass function.
Yeah.
Just people.
You're red too.
Nowadays, just rude as shit.
Man,
you call me, I'm finna get booty scratch out. Fuck you,
now
nigga.
What you gonna do about it, doo-doo Tunde? Nothing for the next 30 years.
Oh man!
Don't make me call ice.
Don't make me call them Asians that smack you upside the head. You
Yeah,
ain't
we'll call
doing nothing
them.
about it.
All right, we're gonna talk about them. I want to talk about them because it seemed to be a big misconception. I was under the impression that when they was gonna get rid of these immigrants, they was gonna get some of these immigrant whites and fucking and Asians and motherfucking Arabs and shit too. Why these motherfuckers still here? And they ain't touching these motherfuckers. But we gonna get into that because I wanted to talk about the Carlos Brown and Arenas of the Ukrainian bitch, because I felt like if she had got deported, she would possibly be alive today. You know, ICE didn't do their job. They didn't do their job because they want to uphold the system of white supremacy via anti-blackness, and they wanted that white bitch here in America, but she dead. So, but we're going to talk about that in detail. We definitely need to talk about that situation in regards to mental health, mental illness. So, owner, though, you do understand what I was saying, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Now, like I said, this is the way that we view Gunther. I'm asking you, do you believe that Brock feud between Gunther? How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, the whole crux of my answer was, you know, I didn't think Brock gave a fuck about wrestling. I mean, but if they're paying him and they're paying him to go under and do the job for Oprah, then I can see that.
Yeah, you know, look, all these white men want is they just want their money straight. So if he got his salary and then his bonus and shit, he just wants y'all to take care of whatever little taxes gonna come through. He want his money straight. So if that come at the expense of a loss, Brock might care about the business, but he still know how to play for his money. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I care about this business, and I already know that they're gonna come at me to lose. But still, they're gonna have to come with this in order for me to do that. And they're going to give it. They're going to give it to him. He know that. He's a white supremacist.
I have to ask, you know, is that TKO saying they want Oprah Femi in that spot, or because it's not Triple H?
We're going to talk about that. You brought up an interesting factor because, like I said, this is what we talk about when it comes down to the sympathetics of white folk when it comes down to Triple H being fired. I want to make it clear right now. Triple H, your ass got to go today. And I know that you got her issues, but I want to see you get fired before you take your final trip to the upper room.
Will he lose his health coverage if he loses his job?
You know, he got money. He'll buy some insurance. You know, he's not about to sit up here and act like he ain't sitting on a couple of million and then he got an inheritance coming too from two sides. I heard Linda McMahon sitting on $1 billion by herself.
It's quite possible.
He ain't gonna have time to spend on that shit. It's gonna be so sudden.
They don't give a fuck about that shit. All that shit going to the kids. They don't give a fuck about that shit. We need to avoid that from happening. They all need to go on that O'Doyle rules. They need to go hit one of the road trips. Tragic episode of Monday Night Raw. Boy, they ain't got shit on Kobe. Crash, boy.
But yeah, Triple H don't have no shit where he gon' slowly deteriorate into a hospice. Like, he just gonna one day.
Not Claire Murphy.
Like, he don't have like some degenerative, it is degenerative, but it's not gonna put him in hospice. He just his heart gonna explode.
Well, the thing is, you know, Vince McMahon tore his quads. You know, Vince McMahon been sitting in that one spot for a long ass time, but throughout his lifetime. And, you know, Triple H area is just, people got different elements. So, you know, when you sit in the spot so long, one person quads may blow, the other one hurt may blow, you know?
HV cover. When you said that, I just picture Vince sitting down at the 05 Rumble trying to figure out who's going to win between Batista and John Cena when he blew them shits out.
I don't want to picture that motherfucker doing nothing because everybody keeps sitting up here talking about Vince McMahon is the key. You know, my thing is this. Why won't nobody think outside the box? Just because Just because you've been done wrong in one area don't mean that you need to go back to your former oppressor thinking that he gonna do better by you. You keep taking the motherfucking chance. If the next man don't do right, get rid of this motherfucker. Keep making it a rotating cycle. But we can see that Triple H has been in power for 3 years and nobody have a month block. Nobody. I'm not talking about Negroes. No wrestling fan has a month block to where they can sincerely say that they enjoyed pro wrestling from pay-per-view to pay-per-view. And can't wait to see the next one.
No. Even when Dwayne was up here with Gurwitz, I was like, okay, this is cool, but it wasn't like, oh my God, must-see TV.
It's just not there. You know, Mike, how far over the top? Because apparently they may have to go over the top. How far over the top do pro wrestling have to get in order to really just pique your interest for real?
Oof. As a whole,
are they gonna have to do what you see in the video games, throwing people off the Hell in a Cell and falling on their necks and shit?
Not sure I'll go that far.
Cinematic shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see cinematic.
Did you enjoy what you seen in 2020?
Like at the forefront.
Did you enjoy what you seen during COVID? Is that okay from time to time?
COVID? I wasn't really watching during COVID.
The fuck was you doing?
Yeah, I was just working.
Oh.
Essential motherfucker.
Shit.
Excuse my language.
Man. Well, we honor you. We thank you for your services, brother. Because American Dumb Show don't. No, they made us come to work after a while, too. They was on some bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my job, we were considered essential, so I didn't have to worry about getting laid off.
We wasn't considered essential, but they did pay us like we was essential, goddammit.
That's good.
Led us to where we at today. But anyway, Owner, do you believe that pro wrestling have to go over the top to captivate you, or do you believe they need to scale back to the basics?
I mean, I think the most brutal match could just be a dog collar match, and you don't have to go no further than that. That could be it.
Well, I mean, they could put a little steel cage around there. It'll be okay, right?
You don't even really need all that. Just dog collar. The dog collar enough by itself, like.
You know, wrestling could be so simple. I could go back and watch all the racist matches. Jerry King Lawler, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Nikita Koloff, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson. I could go back and watch Bruno Sammartino, racist stash. He was a pedophile. It's funny because they put some of the most beautiful music behind saying that he was a pedophile. Well, I was 19 and I just came to this country and I met my wife and she was 14. And that's just cool. Like y'all just go overlook that.
He was 14
because they had the most beautiful music behind there. 3 years later, we was married. Like you married your wife when she was 17, and it's cool because they died together, right? Like they're old age, right? That's cool. That's fine, white folk. That's okay. I just wanted to see.
Reminds me of Elvis.
15 and I was 32. Elvis is still not condemned for fucking his wife.
You were 14 years old. Elvis was 24, right? Mm-hmm. How did your parents allow a 14-year-old teenager baby to be with this then superstar of...
It was not easy on my parents. First of all, it was just an innocent meeting. And of course, I was excited and I was reluctant because I didn't think they'd ever let me go. But it was just a one-time opportunity. That's all they thought it would be. I never expected him to ask me back. They never expected him to ask me back.
But Elvis did ask you back, and you saw him again and again. And you would get home very late at night and be exhausted the next day when you had to go to school. Mm-hmm. And your parents let you go again and again.
It's when you're in love, it's hard to fight. And I was rebellious somewhat, meaning I I didn't want to go to school, or I said I wouldn't go to school. Please let me, he'd be out of my life after 6 months, and, don't ruin my life, because I really cared. And he came to the house, and he was charming. He was wonderful, and my family had a lot of faith in him.
Were you mad about him?
I was, but our relationship was very different. It was a very protective relationship from the very beginning. I don't know what it was about him, but he kind of took me under his arm and nourished me in many ways.
You write in your book, you're 14. Elvis would take me into his bedroom, and then we would kiss long, deep, passionate kisses, and his caresses would leave me weak with desire.
Yes, it's true. There was an agreement, I guess, he made with himself that the woman that he decided to take for his wife, he was going to keep her that way until he married her.
Even then, in Germany, Elvis gave you Dexedrine.
Mm-hmm.
First time you'd seen pills.
I didn't know what was going on as far as, pills or what they were, sleeping pills. I mean, he gave them to me to be helpful, to say, look, if it's really getting really bad and you're not doing well, take a couple of these. But he was very cautious about them, and he said, don't take them a lot, and just take them if you really need them.
What do you think attracted a 24-year-old star to a 14-year-old inexperienced? Or am I telling you just as I say that? Is that what attracted him to you?
The inexperience, yes. I think when you're young, you kind of... I listened to him and did what he said. Want to go out with a lot of guys when they went out.
He was almost always with an entourage.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Elvis went back to America, was released from the service. You stayed in Germany. When you were 15, he says, come live with me in Memphis. And your parents said,
yeah, that's cool. He took care of her to the lifetime. She's still getting paid off this motherfucker today. That's fine with white folk. He's still y'all king, white folk. I just wanted to know.
Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
I just wanted to note all this stuff while we, looking at people as heroes and shit. But Bruno was a hell of a talent. By the way, Chris Benoit, the 25th anniversary of Chris Benoit's death is coming up. That is going to be an emotional edition. Also the anniversary of Owen Hart.
Yeah, 19th.
Yeah, the 19th. I meant the 25th anniversary of Owen Hart death. That's going to be emotional. It's going to be the last time that we tribute Owen Hart. I mean, how many times can we talk about this guy? So we do have Chris Benoit emotional tribute coming up as well. Chris Benoit was not only a phenomenal wrestler, but he was a true credit to his race. We got to get ready to move on. Chad, so Honor, your response was you'll be fine if they scaled it back to the basics. Chad, where you at on it? Is there an in-between?
No, I mean, it's really simple. Larger-than-life characters with captivating storylines. That's it. You can't have one without the other.
Ultimate Warrior, his presentation might have been over the top, but he didn't have to do, a 20-minute match to captivate 6 minutes.
People talk about him today. New fans go back to watch some of his stuff to figure out who the Ultimate Warrior is. The Ultimate Warrior have not had some of the best matches, but I tell you, I could list more Ultimate Warrior matches that I'd rather go watch today than the stuff that happened last week. I couldn't tell you what happened last week, and I watched the wrestling last week.
But, it really wouldn't have made sense for the Ultimate Warrior to be doing, headlock takeovers and, all those fancy takedowns and holds. He's a dynamo of energy. He's a madman. He's just...
Well, you waking something up right now. When in regards to the WWE, The Rock is the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. There's no doubt about that. And anytime that The Rock come back, The Rock has not let us down. Genuinely, has not let us down, not one time. You know what I'm saying? He always have a standout performance. Do you believe that The Rock is over so much more than what is offered on the roster because he add a flair that no one else have right now? Like LA Knight is the most. Is LA Knight the most eccentric person that the WWE have right now? With the exception of Danhausen right now.
What the fuck is so funny?
I think that's fair. I
don't think I said this here, but I said, him getting booed when he came out of the Bucks was the best way for him to start.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Because I will shut this motherfucker down right now. Don't laugh at me. I didn't say nothing wrong.
We all had to laugh at that shit.
My bad, I tried to say that with a straight face. Hold on. Because I want y'all to start taking me serious right quick. So let me say this again, all right? Chad? It was not fair for you to laugh at me. I didn't say anything wrong. I'm giving an honest evaluation of how I see things. And if you find that to be funny, you can mute your mic.
I bit my fucking lip, bro.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Oh, God.
Sometimes I see why they hate us, bro. Sometimes I see why they hate us.
It ain't gotta be no hate shit. I don't fuck with you. Hey, I don't hate you, sayonara. Oh, man. That was gut busting right quick. Oh, God. Sometimes you just gotta laugh. We this is some serious shit right here. Wrestling with racism is serious, Mike. You know how serious it is? We are about 30, 45 minutes into this program and we haven't gotten to the topic yet. And I'm gonna tell you, to be honest with you, I honestly, personally don't give a fuck. Mike, Tony Khan cannot continue to get away with this shit. Mike, I need you to do me a favor. And I need you to run down the card for the night, please. The entire card. Even 0 hour.
Okay, let me get this card. AEW Dynasty. So what we had is, in the pre-show, Alex Windsor defeating Marina Shafir. Camille defeating Big Ann, whoever that is. Jack Perry defeating Mark Davis to retain his national championship. You have Divine Dominion defeating Hyan and Maya World to retain the women's world tag titles.
Okay, time out. I'm sorry. It's just not to cut you off, but that is the pre-show, right?
That was all pre-show.
Now, was this announced? Was that tag team match in particular announced before the program?
Before the program? It was announced before the program.
Okay, I had no idea, but so far, Maya World is the only American Negro wrestling on the entire program, and she received an AEW Women's Championship match, right?
That is correct.
Tag team.
Tag team.
And what is the ethnicity of her tag team partner, Mike?
Hyan. Let me see what her government name is. Hyan Young Gerald. Let me look at her personal life.
I'm sorry, she's supposed to be black.
I don't know what Hyan is.
Somebody send me a picture.
So she is of mixed Mexican and Dominican descent.
Okay, so far, okay, with that being said, now white folk may sit up here and say, oh, AEW isn't racist because not only did Maya World wrestle on the program, the pre-show, but she received the women's tag team title match. I just wanted to note that real quick. I apologize. Please continue.
Okay, so back to the card. We had so far on the main show, you have the Young Bucks defeating Okada and Takeshita. Ricochet defeated Chris Jericho. Darby Allin just beat Andrade El Idolo. And now we are currently at FTR versus Cope and Cage for the World Tag Titles. Following that will be Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay for the Continental Championship. Tekla versus Jamie Hayter for the Women's World Championship. You have the Casino Gauntlet match to determine the new TNT champion after Kyle Fletcher had to vacate due to injury. We know Tommaso Ciampa and Rush are going to start the match off. We don't know all the participants, so they may sneak a FBA wrestler there, for all we know.
Okay, with that being noted, what FBA wrestlers are available?
Shelton Benjamin, Kevin Knight. They could have Scorpio Sky, but then again, it's Scorpio Sky, so I wouldn't expect that.
I was about to laugh at your ass now.
Yeah. Don't worry. So most likely you can expect Kevin Knight, Shelton Benjamin, since the Hurt Syndicate's back.
Forewarning, Kevin Knight is the only American Negro that wrestled on this edition of Dynasty.
Back.
And he was not scheduled to wrestle. Damn, Mike,
Yeah.
it's that bad? Damn, Mike.
Really?
Damn.
I will.
Wait a minute.
I would. Unless they decide to call up, any of Shane Taylor promotions from ROH.
Well, they could put Swerve in there, right?
They could put Swerve in that Casino Men's Gauntlet, but they'll probably save him for coming out at the end of.
Hold on a minute.
Omega.
We'll get that in a second. Just yes or no on that one. I'm just trying to count the Negroes that AEW have. That is just eye-opening, ain't it?
It sure is.
Powerhouse Hobbs. That's what I was saying at the end of the last program. Y'all want Swerve Strickland to be so strong as to blind you for the fact that there are no American Negroes in AEW. We're going to talk about Kevin Knight extensively. Oh, well, the Rascals, right? Wesley and Myron Reed, right?
Myron Reed, yeah, they're in AEW.
Okay, yeah, and they're utilizing these guys. We're gonna talk about them soon. But those are good. I'm not downplaying them. And if they trying to incorporate them, I just want to see next quarter be a little different. Now that you know that you have these guys, but. I often say that Triple H, and this has been a topic over the last couple of weeks, Triple H flat out don't respect Carmelo Hayes. But it appears that pro wrestling overall, from the WWE, TNA, and now apparently AEW, just don't respect Wes Lee. Now, they're both over in their 5'5", so, whatever. Maybe that could be it. I don't know. Pecker Tom Ron just going to say it's just not racism. We're going to discover that later on. We got a loaded program tonight. I'm sorry, Mike. Casino Gauntlet, what's next?
After the Casino Gauntlet determine the new TNT champion, you have the Bullet Club War Dogs, David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Gabe Kidd defending the World Trios Championships against the conglomeration, Orange Cassidy, Roger Strong, and a partner of their choosing to be announced.
Now, they just won the titles last night, right?
Yes, they did.
Was the challenger scheduled to have this match already?
I believe so. Not 100% sure, though.
We're going to talk about that when that match get there. I'm highly disappointed. Kevin Knight got to get out of jet speed. Especially with Mike Bailey coming out as a non-binary. He got to get out of that.
I don't know what personality he has.
He got to get out of that tag team.
Yeah.
And Mike Bailey is a great wrestler. They don't need to be together.
Yeah. But yeah, so then the main event, MJF versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship.
This might sound shorter than it usually is. You know, so maybe Tony Khan figuring that out. You know, I was with my cousin for a little bit the other day. Sat back, kicked it with him for a little while. And he's one of the people that I generally survey because he's a wrestling fan. Wrestling isn't his algorithm, but he don't watch wrestling. But when we were younger, you know, he was hardcore at watching it, you know, not necessarily the dirt sheets. He's never been a dirt sheet type of person, but he could always watch, you know, as a kid, as a teenager, early adult, you know, grew out of it, but could still watch it from time to time. Oh, keep up with here. He know Roman Reigns. He know this person. He know that person. He know that person. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, they always got the old people, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, you know. So he keep up with it. And I asked him about AEW from time to time, and he don't know it. It's not in this algorithm. He don't look for it. And then when we go back talking about certain wrestlers, hey, these people are in AEW. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I said, damn, what can I show him that can make him be like, maybe I'll try this out. So I showed Mariah May turning on Tony Storm. That was beautiful to me. He was invested. I showed him Ricochet. He was into Andrade. He was into all the little high-flying people. But he not into the blood and gut shit. I showed him putting the syringe in Swerve Strickland's mouth. Showed him putting the syringe in somebody else's mouth. All the bloodbath shit. You know, he always had an appreciation for Mick Foley because Mick Foley was his guy. But Mick Foley didn't do nothing no different than barbed wire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's honest. And did right. And, you know, I wasn't saying that he was safe, but he was safe. You know what I'm saying?
And as safe as you can be.
Yeah. Yeah. Not to mention who he was working with. So, less is more. But Mike, since that seemed to be a standard today, is it possible to scale back?
I believe, they can scale back. And I believe they should scale back. Because every now and then, like the hardcore stuff, that's where they go overboard. Because you don't need to do hardcore a whole lot.
Every fucking night they got a 2 or 3 segments of the shit, right?
About most about every pay-per-view, like every year we get Anarchy the Arena, and then they follow it up with Blood and Guts. Which to me, Anarchy in the Arena should have been a feud ender. And Blood and Guts, that should also be a feud. Those should be matches saved to where you're trying to end a feud. But the feud never truly ends. Because Blood and Guts, that should have been the end of the feud between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Inner Circle. But it wasn't. They kept it going even after that. They should have been Anarchy in the Arena. That should have been the end between Blackpool Combat Club and who else? I'm trying to remember. The AEW roster. Wasn't that Death Riders in the AEW roster? That should have been the end, but they didn't. They extended it. They said, drag it out. We're gonna have Blood and Guts.
Well, it seemed like it's still there. To me, it don't seem like no different than when he didn't have it when he had the world title.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, he got another championship right now.
Not knowing when to end feuds. Tony Khan doesn't know when to end a damn feud. Hangman and Moxley's feud, All In. That was the good ending. End it there.
Well, think about it. What do you do with goofs like Willer Yuta and Daniel Garcia and, God rest his soul, Cesaro?
Claudio, there's a story they could do where they turn on Moxley. Where let's say they see Moxley is weak, and a story was literally right there that they had an opportunity to tell where Moxley gets kicked out of the Death Riders. They could have did that.
But what I'm saying though, moving forward, that's a lot of people. So once you get past that feud and with Moxley, especially if they all turn on Moxley gonna need another crew. He's not gonna fight all of them off by themselves, especially with that dangerous bitch Marina Shafir. Oh my God, how this bitch still got a job? I don't like that bitch. Huh?
Moxley praises her.
Man, there's something about her that I just do not like that woman. She like that lady that she like that lady that used to come and attack people with Raven. It was never revealed who that woman was. They say it was supposed to be Tori, but she like her. And I don't like. I like that lady back then, but I don't like this lady.
That's the funny thing about AEW because arguably you could say MJF is the best wrestler on the planet, but then they got Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta.
That you literally want to put the fact that they literally want to put the effort behind these people.
Mike Bailey.
I don't like Darby Allin, and I don't like what Darby Allin do. But at least I could say that Darby Allin go out there and give you. It is not in my liking, but you could see that he dedicated to giving you everything that he got.
Yep.
What the fuck do this day? And it's like they want to keep trying with these Daniel Garcias and Willer Yutas and shit. What?
Sammy Guevara.
Oh Lord.
Oh, he's banished.
I'm so glad that I'm glad they Destination Smoke tossed this motherfucker.
Did they officially get rid of him? I mean, not officially, but I mean, all but officially. It's close to official. He doesn't be on TV.
That's how you know he not shit, because he should have quit and went to the WWE, but the WWE don't want that little tiny fleet.
What the fuck?
He just sitting there taking this.
Yeah, if you want to see Sammy Guevara, you'd have to go. He's locked behind a paywall.
Now, for the record, he down there because. For the record, he down there because Mercedes Moné flexed her the white supremacy, right?
Yeah.
That motherfucker. I mean, she did what she had to do. That motherfucker didn't rape her.
Call the shot.
But see, that's the key, though, Honor. I'm glad that you said it, and I'm glad that you said it the way that you did, because why won't Tony Khan fire nobody? They got an overloaded roster. TNA is out there. I was sitting up here thinking about this the other day. The WWE got so many people on their roster, they can't manage. AEW got so many people on their roster that, you got a big overflow. And TNA just sitting right there. Whatever the remaining people is from the WWE, and AEW could go down there and wrestling could bang. But why won't Tony Khan let nobody go? What is up with that?
Question.
That is the thing. He didn't let Ricky Starks go. He held on to him for the longest. He didn't let Danhausen go. He held on to him for the longest. He didn't let Cody Rhodes go. He didn't let him go. He held on to him for the longest.
Willie Mack just came out and talked about how he's...
I mean, Keith Lee, we still don't know where the hell he is.
So if y'all notice the names that I named, all of them are white, right?
Correct.
Yeah. But
he had no issue letting Big Swole go.
That was the initial one. He had no issue letting Sonny Kiss go.
Quickly.
He had no issue letting Nyla Rose go. You don't do nothing with Nyla Rose. You better or you just sitting there letting her go. You don't have no issue letting black people go. But you hold on to Ricky Starks and don't do nothing with him. You hold on to Dan House and then don't do nothing with him. All these fucking whites, you pay them. You pay them well. And the Negroes that you do have sitting on the sideline, well, as owner is about to report. Owner, go ahead, talk to me.
I mean, Willie Mack has been in the headlines recently. He came out, he's been causing a fuss. He's on the shelf and he wants to get back in the ring. He wants to get back on TV. He wants to know what's up with his contract.
Mm-hmm. And we here at Wrestling with Racism have been advocating for Willie Mack. In particular, owner of a Stolen Gun have been advocating for Willie Mack on multiple occasions. We often asked, even below Ring of Honor, where is Willie Mack? Another guy that we often ask for is Brian Keith. We're not ready for Collision yet, Mike, but where is Brian Keith?
That's what I would like to know.
Oh, if it isn't racism. If it isn't racism. We're going to talk about that because, like I said, Tony Khan continues to get away with this shit, and we here at Wrestling with Racism will not allow that to continue to happen. Because it's disheartening for us to do this edition this evening. Mike?
Yep.
When you ran down that card, I was most shocked to hear Maya World name in that pre-show than Obafemi beating Brock Lesnar. There is not a single American Negro wrestling on AEW Dynasty tonight. And I want y'all to understand the magnitude of this because last year's edition of Wrestling with Racism, we covered AEW Dynasty live. It's available right now on YouTube, by the way. Y'all could go check it out. It was a great edition. I mean, we got some fucking, all in all, we got some great editions of Wrestling with Racism. Like I said, the information that we pump out minute to minute is like none other. And that was another great edition. Matter of fact, we even went to church. Y'all remember that? We went to church before Swerve Strickland got that title match at Dynasty last year with John Moxley. Swerve Strickland was the only American Negro that wrestled on the entire program. And it was in the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship in which he lost. At that time, I want y'all to recognize that I was told to shut the fuck up, and I was called a nigger on several occasions because Swerve Strickland is wrestling in the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, and I'm supposed to be satisfied and content with that. Now, Powerhouse Hobbs probably wrestled in the pre-show. So if I'm inaccurate on that, we'll find out later. How do AEW choose to rebound this year? There is not a single American Negro that wrestled on the entire program. I want to show y'all how bad this got. So let me check. Give me 2 seconds. Let me check something. I want to state for the record that this was recorded live during AEW Dynasty, and Kevin Knight was not scheduled to wrestle on the program. Although he entered the Casino Battle Royal and won the TNT Championship in an attempt to pander due to the backlash of Carmelo Hayes losing the WWE United States Championship. But we will get into that later. I'm also encouraging everyone to stick around. This edition is going to end here pretty shortly, and part 2 will be available Saturday morning before WWE Wrestlemania.
But be sure to stick around as we have some hilarious bonus content available after this edition. The last edition of Wrestling, the last live edition of Wrestling with Racism. I want y'all to go, if you have not tuned into it, it's in the live section on YouTube. The WWE Road to Wrestlemania is looking anti-black. And Tony Khan, racism is glowing. In that edition, me and Mike had a one-on-one conversation about what has been going on in AEW since AEW Revolution. We broke down Swerve Strickland to a T and come to find that Swerve Strickland has not had any tangible success in 2026, and we have already noted that Swerve Strickland has not had any tangible success since he lost the AEW Championship going on 3 years now.
Correct.
In between of talking about that, Mike revealed to me that he didn't watch the last 2 episodes of AEW Dynamite. Mike, tell them why you didn't watch those editions, please.
There was not a single foundational black American wrestling on those 2 shows.
This is a trend. This is a dangerous trend that has been happening for years. Wrestling with Racism has been out for a long time. And when I was sitting here doing this shit by myself, I was noting week after week after week that there are no American Negroes wrestling on the program, and then they'll pull out a Swerve. And then week after week after week, there's no non-mixed American Negroes wrestling, then they'll pull out a Keith Lee. And then week after week after week, there's no non-Negro wrestling, and then they'll pull out of both Keith Lee and Swerve. This is nothing new. And it's amazing how big Powerhouse Hobbs, who is now known as Royce Keys, was to black Americans in AEW. Because now that he's gone, you feel the loss of his presence immediately.
Yeah.
So let's get ready for the last 2 weeks. That is an unfortunate event. That was the first 2 weeks that is reported in that edition. So let's get ready to see how that changed over the last 2 weeks leading up to this program. Mike, can I get an American Negro update on AEW Dynamite from 2 weeks ago?
There was not a single foundational black American wrestling on the card.
Okay, so with that being noted, since AEW Revolution, that is the 3rd week in a row. Did any American Negroes appear on the program? In the promo, what's going on with Swerve Strickland?
Swerve, I haven't heard from him. Probably see a promo from like maybe Stokely Hathaway appearing with FTR.
Like Stokely Hathaway, by the way. I just want to note that I do like, he's very charismatic. He is one of the most charismatic people in this business history. I said it.
Yeah.
However, I do think he's a little bit sweet. I just want to note that. It's just, he didn't say, I take it back to when, the last straw for me, he done said a lot of shit or done a lot of shit. But the last straw for me was when the motherfucker said, "You raggedy bitch. You raggedy bitch. You raggedy bitch." Now, that's a classic line from a classic movie for the ladies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very particular way that my man said that.
I have any idea how many women would love for me to take them to my house so they can meet my mother
Oh, I can just about guess.
You black bitches is all the same.
Bitch!
You complain all the time about don't nobody want your asses, don't know how to treat ya. As soon as a man or brother show you genuine interest, you bitches act simple. And then you wonder why we go out with white women.
A white woman can have your sorry ass. Don't you throw that up here!
You raggedy bitch. You better be more careful who you pick up in grocery stores next time.
Troy, take your drunk ass, leather wearing in the summertime, need a shave, stinky ass home. I'm not going.
Have a fruit bowl, tramp.
Punk.
Forget you.
And he just said it's so gay. You raggedy bitch. I'm like, oh man. Some people just need to leave some shit alone. When you not within the culture like that, but you trying to look cool in front of whites, don't do that. Leave our classics alone. That's that O'Shea Jackson shit.
You raggedy bitch. All right, I'm sorry.
You fucked it up, Chad. Don't do that. I ain't even gonna laugh at you on that. Sometimes a good idea should just stay an idea, man. I just sat up here and said, don't disrespect the culture.
Good ideas, poor execution.
Man, good ideas, poor execution. It still sounded better than Hathaway's, though.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
No, I'm saying you didn't sound what do you call gays nowadays?
Nah, you did what's the old boy off of Waiting Exhale when she was doing the shit out the balcony.
Man, get out. Man, you wrong, brother. You wrong. You wrong. He wrong. Get out. You wrong, brother. Stay black. You ain't do us, man. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Welcome to the party, owner. You just welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. None of us would have figured that shit out. All right, I need to figure out where we at on now. To take a break, I ain't even watching this fucking pay-per-view. All right. So, Mike, you kind of threw me off when you said you didn't know what's going on with Swerve Strickland. So we need to figure out what's going on with Swerve Strickland right quick. Like, where is he at? I need you to check and see was he on the show on both the shows.
Neither one of them was on the Go Home show.
So Ricochet beat Chris Jericho with the Lion Salt.
Yeah, he beat him with the Lion Salt.
But people kick out of anything else.
Emil Brickhouse is back.
Is she?
Yep.
Who is she?
She used to be Mercedes Monet's muscle.
So that means Mercedes Moné probably coming back tonight. Is Mercedes Moné coming back tonight?
No, because last Camille saw, she left Mercedes.
Okay. I'm just saying on a separate note, is it possible that Mercedes Moné coming back tonight?
No.
Okay.
She's not coming back.
Did you check on what I asked you for?
Yeah, neither Kevin Knight nor Swerve have been on the last 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. They haven't even been in the promos.
Yeah, they haven't.
Crazy. Like, is Swerve injured?
I don't know what's going on with Swerve.
Was he on Collision?
No.
All right, so we're going to now. Swerve may come back tonight. You know what I'm saying, in the main event. As far as Kevin Knight going, I know that Kevin Knight been on Collision. When we get on the Collision results, then we're gonna get on that. But that is very important to note that AEW is on a run of not doing nothing with no Negroes. And I'll wait the Collision when we get to the other stuff. Obviously, the 6-man tag thing is going on right now. So obviously, Kevin.
The Casino Gauntlet.
Oh, so they still tag team champions though, right?
Yeah, FTR retained.
Oh, FTR. Oh, I forgot about that. I thought you said the 6-man tag match was on right now. Edge and Christian lost. So what? See, that was crazy. Why do they got them losing? Why did they put them in the tag team title match right now? Well, did they do it because Christian got hurt or something?
Yeah, they did an angle on the Go Home show where they put his arm in a chair and they stomped on it.
Yeah. All right. AEW, I just don't care, man. It's throwing me off that it's just so fucking white tonight and Mexican and Japanese, and they just don't value Negroes at all. And you got to do some. No, Leo Rush did everything he could to step outside of himself, and they still don't putting him in the. Well, he may be in the casino gauntlet or whatever. I don't know.
He might be. They could put him in there, Kevin Knight, or Shelton Benjamin. So we don't.
I'm about to go ahead on and turn it on.
They're gonna sneak them in there and say, "Hey, we got some FBAs in here."
Well, he need to win.
They're gonna try that.
Now, I like Kyle Fletcher. He white, but to me, he's one of the better wrestlers in the world right now.
Yeah, I enjoy Kyle Fletcher.
What's going on with Kyle Fletcher right now? What is this injury that caused him to vacate the title?
He got an injury. He was injured. He got injured during the tag match where him and Mark Davis were wrestling the Rascals.
Oh shit!
On Collision, it appears to be a meniscus.
So
meniscus.
So he's not gonna be out too long.
Well, no one knows how long. No one knows. So no one knows the severity of the meniscus. If he needs surgery or not. If he doesn't need surgery for it, then he should be out. He should come back after 4 to 8 weeks. But if he has to have surgery, then he'll be out for 3 to 6 months.
I pray for the latter because he needs to take his time. They need more American Negroes. They got to clear out some of these whites for American Negroes. But I do wish Kyle Fletcher a safe recovery. Just want to take this time to note a couple of things that we did not note on the program. Kyle Fletcher was hurt. Therefore, they had this match to determine the next TNT champion. Had Kyle Fletcher not been injured, Kevin Knight would not be the TNT champion right now. It also appears that he's the TNT champion in order to pander because of the backlash that the WWE is receiving for Carmelo Hayes losing the WWE United States Championship and not being allowed to wrestle at this year's WrestleMania. In the same token, waiting in the wings is the elevation of Speedball Mike Bailey, who is white. We are going to keep up on the progression of Kevin Knight as the months roll along and we continue to wrestle with racism. So white folk can kiss my ass if they want to label me a racist. Who's all in the match so far, the Casino Gauntlet so far?
Okay, the match hasn't started yet, so starting the match off is going to be Rush and Tommaso Ciampa.
Okay. I just don't like this whole fucker. But he could come in and get in prominent positions and get TNT championships and get TNT championship matches and shit. What was the point of putting the title on him? Just for him to, lose it quickly, I don't know. But since the audible is being called, I wouldn't be surprised if he won tonight. Mike, what you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. They could have him win.
Honor, are you there?
Yeah.
Who would you like to see win the gauntlet match tonight?
I couldn't tell you the first participant.
Well, I mean, you don't know who's in there, but if you could just take the person that's not wrestling tonight that you would like to see, or anybody that's AEW that you would like to see be TNT champion, who would that be?
Probably Lee Moriarty. Jay Lethal.
Okay.
Willie Mack come in, surprise everybody.
There we go. That's how you atone.
E3 will be cool.
No, you know who would really fuck him up? Human Tornado. Tony
I like
Khan
to see Kevin Knight win the TNT title
over the weekend.
Surprise! Kevin owner didn't say Kevin Knight. He don't seem like he don't like them uppity Negroes.
I thought he was in the 6-man tag.
Huh?
I thought he was in that 6-man tag.
No, owner, they lost. We didn't get to the results to Collision. They lost the tag team titles.
Yep, they lost last night.
Again.
And he took the pin, of course.
Can you confirm that? Mike?
Let me go see the results of last night's Collision and see who took the pin.
Well, wait a minute. We'll get on that when we get to Collision. Just we're gonna get on Collision in a second. Chad, let's get back to the WWE real quick. Chad, you there?
All right. I'm in.
Cool. Can I get an American Negro update on 2 weeks ago on WWE Monday Night Raw? I think that was Madison Square Garden, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Actually, for the sake of Obafemi, give me an all-melanated update. I'm sorry, Mike, you said Bandito won the match, so that is officially 2 Hispanics in this match right now, right?
Yep.
And by the way, he's the Ring of Honor champion, right?
Correct. He's the Ring of Honor World Champion.
For the record, Athena is still the Ring of Honor Women's champion, right?
She's still holding that title.
Oh, boy. And for the record, fuck wrestling on this pay-per-view tonight. She still has not appeared on AEW television in 2026, right?
Not a single appearance.
Want to note that. But hey, Bandito been on every single pay-per-view, and I'm pretty sure he's been on Dynamites and stuff.
He has.
Along with Ring of Honor.
That is correct.
That is unfortunate.
El Clone is in the match.
Huh?
El Clone is into the match.
I have no idea who that is. Who the fuck is that, Mike?
Yeah, he's part of the Don Callis family.
Oh my God. Who is he? Where did he come? I've never heard of this guy before.
Yeah, he's a masked wrestler.
You know,
he was like a rival for Hologram.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And I want to state for the record, there's no American Negroes on the Don Callis family, right?
None. There are no FBAs. The last time they had an FBA was Powerhouse Hobbs.
All right, Mike, you pulling double duty today. Can I get an American Negro update from 2 weeks ago on Raw?
Lash Legend is being challenged by Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for the women's tag team championships. And then Charlotte Flair jumped Jackson Legend into the max in a DQ.
I want to stop you right there, and I apologize, especially with everything that we went through. We reported on that because we ended up doing the show that night. I forgot about that, Mike. You wasn't there. We reported on that on the last edition of Wrestling with Racism because we ended up doing the impromptu edition later on that night. But I do want to note something out of that night. That is where we discovered that ladder match too. But I do want to note something. Lash Legend is surrounded around a bunch of whites, Japanese, and Hispanic women. There are no non-mixed American Negroes besides B-Fab. And of course, she's the whipping girl now for Jade. But it used to be for everybody, right?
That is correct.
I want y'all to know how important that is when just literally 2 years ago, the biggest thing in pro wrestling that had the greatest intrigue was the big three.
Jade, Bianca, and Naomi.
Now we just down to the one Jamaican.
Yeah. Sadly, yeah.
The one Jamaican who, when white folk made sure that Naomi and Bianca Belair was well out of the picture, that they are extremely harassing right now. Yeah. Jade Cargill is facing a tremendous amount of racial hate right now, not just from the wrestling fans, that's normal, but from her peers. And Rhea Ripley is leading the charge. Rhea Ripley, who is a well-known racist from Australia, who rather see Jade Cargill, a Jamaican woman, proud Jamaican woman, behind bars before she want to genuinely step in the ring with her. Chad, have you been paying attention to Rhea Ripley since she won the Elimination Chamber?
Unfortunately.
Where is that fire that she had?
She don't have it.
Why?
Well, she's been showing signs of weight dysmorphia. She hasn't been booked correctly. She's basically been tethering on to EO, and EO suffered because of it.
Wait a minute, let's slow down right quick. What's wrong with this feud?
Between her and Jade?
Yes. Because this is what I'm trying to discover.
Wrapped up and they fucked it up.
This is what I'm trying to discover. It seemed like Jade Cargill, I could say is giving it her all, but Jade Cargill is doing what Jade Cargill does. You know what I'm saying? You don't see no wavering confidence. You don't see no uninterest that, I don't want to be here. None of that shit. She, that bitch, like she said. But you could clearly see that Rhea Ripley has no interest. She not trying. She not putting no effort behind this for real. It's like she don't want to do it. She just doing it for the sake of her job. And it's showing every week. But then you could pile that on with the weight loss. Is it possible that her issue is something much deeper?
Yeah.
Well, talk to me. What's wrong?
I think there's new toys on the block, and she don't have the politic powers to hold them back like a John Cena.
Well, who's the new toys on the block that you're talking about?
Jade for one, Lash for two.
Lash ain't got no power.
No, she doesn't have power.
They're not kissing her ass.
They're not kissing her ass, but eyes are on her.
Oh yeah.
More people are talking about Lash than they are talking about Rhea.
I said Lash has definitely been impressive.
Yes. The most improved wrestler in the recent half a decade, in my opinion.
We have noted that Lash Legend was set out to fail. It's clear. And it's crazy because week after week she continued to supersede everyone's expectations. What is going on with Rhea Ripley right now? Why do you believe that it's displaying on screen that she literally have no interest in this match?
I think Chad said it, and I think we went over this before. Rhea Ripley is, of course, a racist bitch, and she sees Jay getting this court treatment from, corporate, the production. He is,
Well, how could she feel this way when she is going on her 7th championship match? All 7 of her WrestleManias.
I think,
Bianca Belair was literally put in that match so that Rhea Ripley didn't take the pin.
Here comes Kevin Knight.
So that Rhea Ripley didn't take the pin. Good luck to Kevin Knight. But so that Rhea Ripley wouldn't take the pin, they literally put her in that match. So that Rhea Ripley wouldn't get pinned, they put Bianca Belair in that match, and it cost Bianca Belair to this day. The more and more I go back and listen to the playlist of WrestleMania of last year, the recap, and everything leading up to the road to WrestleMania, we kept saying ever since Bianca Belair, they was trying to make this a triple threat match, that she just did not belong in that match. She just didn't belong. And it possibly cost her her career. That knuckle was a hell of a fucking injury to have.
Yes. Yeah. I'm watching the videos of her trying to rehab it is just painful to me, and that's why how I feel. That's why I feel about how I feel about Rhea. Like, to hell with her, because I'm not 100% sure that wasn't intentional.
It was intentional.
Okay.
It may not have been that spot, but she was slated to hurt her. This is the conclusion of part 1 of this week's edition of Wrestling with Racism, covering AEW Dynasty Live. It is also the final edition on the road to WrestleMania. We will return on Saturday morning with part 2 and the conclusion. And next week, we will return with our live WrestleMania report. Be sure to stick around, because as promised, we have some hilarious bonus content for all American Negroes to laugh at and enjoy. In the meantime, American Negroes, be sure to take care of yourself as an individual and protect one another as family. As our dearly beloved ancestor, Frankie Beverly, stated plainly, we are one. And that's the way it is.
Someone, a certain someone, and his particular sheep will look at this video, will look to examine it, take my photo, take my face, say this about me, say that about me, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll say, oh, Pecker Tom Vaughn is at it again. Oh, he's caping for the whites still. You was a traitor and this and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Whatever.
First of all, nigga, what the fuck is that on your lip? That shit on your lip have some shit on its lip. I think it's herpes. I want everyone to look deep into Pecker Tom Ron eyes so you can see exactly how filthy this bitch live.
Arina Zarutska. A young woman, a Ukrainian refugee, was stabbed on the subway train for no reason, no particular reason at all. Charlie Kirk, recently shot in the neck at a rally event for simply speaking what he believes was his own truth.
White truth.
Got my SSI today. Gave my grandmother the win as usual because, win is win. Anyway, I'm terrible. Got my SSI today. Gave my grandmother the win as usual.
Charlie Clark looked down on niggers like you, welfare recipients. He looked down on you worse than regular niggers.
Two of these people had
got killed in cold blood. One was stabbed on the subway by an animal for no reason. After stabbing her, she was left wondering why she was stabbed. Her last final moments was with her crying, seeking solace and seeking help from people on the subway with her who did little fuck all to help her.
No, shut the fuck up! Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
I'm gonna let him keep going on that. Yeah, spit your shit, brother.
Shut the fuck up!
You got it.
You fucking goddamn black
nigga.
Say that Owen was tired of his shit.
Shut the
What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
They just sat there and watched and let a girl die. Charlie Kirk being shot in the neck in front of thousands or millions of people.
And see, this is why I hate black folk.
Black folks.
I hate black folk.
Do you hate white folks?
Nope.
But why did you specify?
I hate black folk.
Shot simply because of his own difference of opinions.
Notice that she did not label Charlie Clark white murderer an animal.
The point where you want to hurt, harm, or kill someone.
Because I want everyone to avert their attention to the Jumbotron.
Taking a look at exactly who's pointing fingers here.
On this Jumbotron, there it goes. Does this look like the natural way to hold a job? That is an awkward way of holding a shot.
I was choking one of my nieces.
Who's the real animal? Pecker Tom Ron.
Alina died alone, scared and crying, with no one to help her, only after when her body dropped, when it was too late. Charlie Kirk has been whipped away from his family. His wife and children will no longer have him in their life. And then you got your particular animals making fun of both having suffered horrific cold-blooded deaths.
What? We're not
What?
Are you declaring here and right now?
What have you done?
Are you declaring
What have you done?
Are you declaring
What have you done? What
Are you declaring here and right now?
What have you done?
Are you declaring
What have you done?
Mental illness on full display, ladies and gentlemen.
You got your people celebrating this, you got your people celebrating that. People saying that the girl on the train deserved because she was possibly racist, which is the first thing they go to.
You say here.
Let's talk about the hypocrisy.
What's going on here? My grandson.
I was choking one of my nieces.
Whoa! You say here. This is my grandson,
Tyler,
can't have
asking
access
the question
to take out money and can't go anywhere or do anything. Then just be cooped in the house.
Oh, so now all of a sudden now that's that's an assumed that I have no control over a post that I just made out of anger, right?
Well, I mean, who's really keeping you in there? You know, why don't you go down to a sports bar?
We have yet.
Excuse me. Deflect that you're all left and right. Say what you gotta say.
Stop muting me!
Pro wrestling one day.
I just want to touch base because I'm going to come right forward. I haven't had ass since 2013. Okay, I'm being open about that. I don't trust the women in this era. Want nothing to do with it. But you say here that sex addiction is a hardship I've been dealing with for a long time now. But then you go on to talk about how you can't go anywhere or do anything other than just being cooped up in the house. So. I just want to get your.
It seems like it's my choice.
I knew this was gonna go somewhere along these lines.
Choice. Well, Ronald, you got an answer to that, Ronald.
Well, do I have to answer? Because I'm quite sure I don't have to.
Well, that is an awkward way of holding a shot.
And see, this is why I hate black folk.
Black folks.
I hate black folk.
Do you hate white folks?
Nope.
But why did you specify?
I hate black folk.
Why would you say I lied? What if I'm just unaware? Because I want everyone to avert their attention to the Jumbotron. On this Jumbotron.
They say the same thing for Charlie Kirk, who, rather controversial difference of opinion, had apparently, they say that he got his just desserts, he got his just desserts, he got his just desserts, he got his just desserts for letting gun laws to continue.
So Rob, have you ever been choked before?
Have I been choked? Yes.
You know how that feels, right?
In what way?
You know how it feels. I mean, did it feel good to you? Did it feel bad? You know how.
And they're saying it's ironic that he got killed by a gun. Now, this is the usual part where, that's cool, whatever. If being on the human decency side for humanity, if that's what makes me that, and not like the animals that want to do nothing but remain animals, I'm fine with it. At the very least, at least I can say that much like the two that were killed, that I had human decency and compassion enough to not mock someone else's pain or someone else's death. Now, whether that someone be a murderer, a rapist, 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 a sadist, a psychopath, whatever color they are, religion, gender, if they are animals, if they are killers, and they have no remorse, those are the deaths that I will celebrate. But for people to try to guilt trip me and gaslight and try to say, oh, typical people, if caping for humanity is what makes me a quote unquote pecker tom to them, okay, fine, I'm cool with that. I'd rather be that than an animal.
That is an awkward way of holding a shot.
I was choking one of my nieces. My only question is, where the fuck did human decency go? Having compassion and some form of comfort for those that lost their lives, for those that truly deserve to have compassion and decency towards them. What happened to that? What happened to the world that acknowledged human decency? That
You fake ass, cold ass, nigga! Defend yourself, nigga! Fuck you! Fuck you, fucking fake ass!
Where the fuck you want you? But if you ain't putting no action behind it, your love don't mean shit.
That allowed people to help other people without expecting something, or just sitting there and letting other people die. What happened to the world I knew? I don't fucking know. Rest in peace, Aruna Sarutska and Charlie Kirk.
You talking about your teeth?
What did I tell you?
I don't know what you're talking about, Ronald. You gotta be more specific. I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
Nigga moron.
Nigga moron.
God.
You want to be white so bad, don't you, Ronald? Tell the truth.
Where do I say it? Where did I ever say those things?
You bathe in your actions. You bathe in bleach every day, don't you? So you are proud to be black?
You're goddamn fucking right.
You're just not proud of black people.
I am sickened of those that make our race look better and make any other race and ethnicity look like complete demons.
Like who?
because I see it on your post every single fucking day, and I'm fucking tired.
Well, what are you gonna do
I am
about it, Ronald?
tired
Well,
of
what
this
you gonna
shit, Rio.
Ronald, okay, here's my thing right here. Okay, here's my thing.
Tired.
Okay, all right, I understand, Ronald. I understand that you're tired. So this is my question to you, okay? I understand.
You don't understand.
I do.
You don't fucking understand. Because what if someone like me, how the fuck would you feel?
I don't know.
Do you have any idea what the fuck that does to me?
No, I don't. What are you talking about? What does it do to you, Ronald? Now, Chad, let me set this up for you. Ronald tends to believe that black people are racist.
They can be. They can be. Yeah, I learned this shit the hard way.
That's a fallacy. It's impossible.
Nope, I've learned that the hard way. It is anything and everything is possible, including that. They can't just be
Okay,
prejudice.
Ronald, can I ask you a question? Do you know the difference between racism and bigotry?
Do tell me.
Okay. Racism has a power dynamic. To be racist, you have to have the power to
bringing
oppress.
power into
Ronald,
this shit.
let him finish.
Because that is
Y'all
important.
keep bringing
him
power
finish.
into this.
You asked him
There's
a
more than
question.
just
Are you
power.
denying the
There's more
power
than just
dynamic?
power.
Okay. Go ahead and
There's
mute
more
him
than
and make me
power.
co-host, because that's the only way you're gonna keep him
Yeah,
muted.
actually, you know what? I'm gonna make you co-host because for some reason he keeps coming back up when I'm muted.
There is more than just power. It's not
Ronald,
just
you didn't
power.
let him finish. You didn't even let him finish. You didn't let him finish. There's multiple factors to
I already
racism.
know this shit from the jump. Everyone keeps going to power.
Ronald, you did not let him finish. There are
This
many
is the first
dynamics.
time we actually brought up the power dynamic.
I mean, please let the man finish. Don't be disrespectful.
Yeah, I feel like being disrespectful today. I don't even care.
Man, this man has not disrespected you whatsoever. Me and him do not have the same.
Not to him. Not to him. I feel like
But
just
you're
being disrespectful.
but you're disrespecting him. He was talking. You're not
Like,
disrespecting me.
You disrespecting me all the time.
Ronald, but why you gotta disrespect him? That's my thing. Calm down, man. Calm down.
I don't want to fucking calm down. I don't want to calm.
Because you just can't listen. You asked the man a question. You asked, what is the difference between racism and bigotry? He is answering
calm.
your
I'm perfectly
question.
calm. I'm perfectly fine. I'm mental in the head. I'm straight. I'm good. Everyone keep telling me that I'm not white in the head. I'm fine. Stop telling me something I'm not. Fuck.
Oh, this is bigger than us.
It really is. It's something deeply personal, and I think I just trigger it. That's what it is.
And you know what? And I appreciate you for speaking up for me, HBK, because I appreciate you speaking up for me, HBK, because the more I listen to Ronald, I low-key feel sorry.
I tried to, but I really tried to, but I honestly tried to, because I know people like that, I guess you want to say, but the anti-blackness is just too much for me. He done said too much shit again. When you called Daniel Penny a hero, when you called Daniel Penny a hero, when you condoned the death of Sonya Macy, those was the last straw. I don't feel for you at all. But Chad, you did wake something up, because I do believe it's something deeper and personal with him. Are you familiar with his father?
I believe he's the owner of Sharif's Grill.
Yeah, several locations in Baltimore.
Yeah, shout out to Sharif. Yeah, your father got he got a very nice business. I've heard nothing but good things.
It seems like a great man.
Yes.
Community man. His brother got pictures with Dr. Umar.
Really?
Mm-hmm. This is deeper than us. And like I said, I believe that I'm just triggering him, because his family is pro-black, it appears. And he always fighting his family. He's always fighting his family. And perhaps that's the reason why. Ronald, you are anti-black. That's your issue. You hate black people. You hate yourself. You can't let this man finish. You asked this man a question. What's the difference between racism and bigotry? And the second that you heard that
A power dynamic is a part of it. You went into this big ass. This is the most enraged that you have been throughout the entire 3 hours that we've been talking. And I've called you all types of names on and said all types of bullshit against you, and that is what enraged you the most. This need to be brought out. There is a difference between racism and bigotry. That is highly disrespectful, Ronald. You can't get a gain of understanding with nobody. You won't even allow nobody to talk. You asked the man a question, and then when he started giving you an answer to where you off rip didn't agree, you go to cut this man off. That's disrespectful. This man has not disrespected you. I disrespected you. You cut me off all you want to, I'll mute you. But this man has not disrespected you. We're only coming up here to have a conversation. You can't treat nobody like that just because you don't agree with them.
Send that boy off to die. Oh, man, wanna holler where they do my life.
And while you at it, when he come back to explain this stuff to you, I want you to list, because the whole point of all of this is you said that black people can be racist. Now, of course, it's not 100 examples of black people being. Matter of fact, you know what, Ronald? I want you to explain the difference between racism and bigotry. Let's see if you got an understanding of what you're talking about. Chad, you think we should let him explain it?
Yep.
Yeah, let's see.
We know.
Let's see. Come on and explain that. What is racism?
First of all, first and foremost, Beardman, let me apologize. I will apologize and say I was disrespectful because of this idiot's mouth. Because he does that to me, and that I apologize. But as
why do you let people do? I hate to cut you off. I'm sorry, but why do you let him get you to that point?
Because you do not know this idiot like I do. You may claim to have known him for years, but you don't know the shit, the scathing, dehumanizing shit that he's done like I do. You don't know. He wants to talk about all the Daniel Penny stuff and all this. I said Daniel Penny is a hippo. Daniel Penny is my hippo because he stopped Jordan Neely from killing multiple people on the subway. That's what I said was on. I'm anti-black. And another thing, I condone the death of Breonna Taylor.
Let me stop you right there, Ronald. And this is why I say, you know what? I don't take it personally. I really don't. Because I do realize that there's something wrong here, with all due respect. And let me go into that Daniel Petty situation. That kid that he murdered was soaking wet 145 pounds.
Daniel Penny was the man.
I don't know you personally, but you don't look like a very large guy. I'm 6'4", about 305 pounds. You don't look like a large guy. And you also sound like a person who is going through a lot mentally. And I could picture you being on a train and somebody like that white dude coming up to you and choking you out because of a misunderstanding. That's the type of grace I'm giving you, despite all the bullshit. We're using you, unfortunately, as a case study. Because now I'm very concerned. Just being here an hour, I'm very concerned for you. Yeah, Jim. Honestly, that makes me very sad, bro. And I don't even know you like that.
Before you mute him, can you, Ronald? And then, like I said, things has gotten out of hand. You know what I'm saying? I can't deny my role in everything. It has gotten out of hand. I have specific reasons as to why I did it, but I can admit that it has gone over here, and I admitted that to myself a long time ago. But like I said, from my standpoint, you put me in a position to where I have to. We here at Wrestling with Racism hope that each and every single American Negro enjoyed this edition of Wrestling with Racism, as we can assure you that wrestling with racism is not the easiest thing in the world to do. We here at Wrestling with Racism aim to exploit white truths. However, white truths isn't the easiest thing to live through. As we continue to wrestle with racism, we are in the second half of our second season, and Wrestling with Racism is hiring for key positions. We are actively seeking an editor. If you are an editor and you are an American Negro, please feel free to DM me your resume. You must be in tune with professional wrestling and social issues regarding race, specifically with American Negroes. You may DM me at non-crackers@al with the L on the end on Twitter X, which is also the place where you can find more white truths. Wrestling with Racism is also actively seeking an associate producer. Please DM me your resume if you are interested in the position. You may also DM me at non-crackers@al on Twitter X, which is also where you can find more white truths. To American Negroes, we encourage you all to voice your opinion on the state of professional wrestling and American Negroes' participation in professional wrestling on camera and behind the scenes, also in executive roles. If you would like to join HBK 400, Deportation 2025, the owner of a stolen gun, and our trusted, valued correspondents, Foundational Bearded American, and Duke CT from the Duke CT Lounge, feel free to DM me at non-crackers@al on Twitter X, which is also the place where you can find more white truths. It is important for our voices to become collective as we are truly facing erasure. American Negroes, take care of yourself as an individual and protect one another as family. As our ancestor, Frankie Beverly, stated plainly, we are one, and that's the way it is. We here at Wrestling with Racism would like to thank each and every single American Negro for tuning in to this program. If you are not subscribed to Wrestling with Racism, check out the other content. And if it hits you to the core, subscribe and share with every single American Negro that you know, whether they are wrestling fans or not. Be sure to also tune in to Wrestling with Racism on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Fanbase, Spotify, and at non-crackers@al on Twitter X, where you can find more white truths. This is also very important as we continue to wrestle with racism. American Negroes and American Negroes only, feel free to leave your comments below. Wrestling with Racism will return next week with a new edition of Wrestling with Racism. In the meantime, take care of yourselves as an individual, one another as family, as our dearly beloved ancestor Frankie Beverly stated plainly.